Alright, today we're going to be writing equations. In point-slope form. Writing equations in point-slope form. Yesterday you wrote equations in slope-intercept form. And you needed the slope and the y-intercept to write the equation. If you're writing equations in point-slope form, you need a point on the line and you need the slope. Okay? So, the first part of your assignment today, which is the simplest part, you're going to be asked to write an equation in point-slope form. So here, let me show you what point-slope form looks like first. Point-slope form of a line. Point-slope form of a line looks like y minus your y sub 1 equals m times x minus your x sub 1. This right here means opposite of the y value given. The equation will always it'll always start with a letter y, and then what goes between this letter y and the equal sign is the opposite of the y value that you are going to be given. The m, okay, that's still the slope. Then the equation will have a left parenthesis, it'll have the letter x, and this right here, that's going to be the opposite of the of the x value given. The only things you have to insert in here are a y value that's given, a slope that's given, and an x value that's given. Alright, but that's the form of a line in point-slope form. So, again, in the first part of your assignment, you're going to be asked to write an equation Why did I do that? Wow. In point-slope form, for a line through the given point Boy, it's a bad morning. Write an equation in point-slope form for a line through the given point with the given slope. I forgot to put an M where?
On the first one.
Oh, thank you. Write an equation in point-slope form for a line through the given point with the given slope. Boy, that was harder than it should have been. So here, you're given your m of 5. You're given the point that it has to go through, which is 3, -2. And you're going to write an equation. Alright? The first equation you're going to write is going to be in point-slope form. So you write the letter y. And then you write the opposite of the y value given. This is your x value given. This is your y value given. So the opposite of -2 is +2. Equal sign and the slope, which is 5. Left parenthesis, letter x. And then the opposite of the x value given. And the opposite of +3 is -3. There's the equation of the line in point-slope form. Okay? Isn't that fun? I was so excited this morning when I woke up because I knew we were going to be writing equations in point-slope form today. So let's try another one. M is equal to 1/4. The given point is -2, -3. Our equation is going to be y and the opposite of the y value at the point. So it's +3 equals the slope times the letter x and then the opposite of the x value given, which would be +2. Yes?
Do you know you only capitalize your A's?
Yeah, I've been told I only capitalize my A's. Don't know. Everybody okay with writing a line in point-slope form if you're given the slope and you're given the point? Alright, next thing I want to show you is how you can take a line from point-slope form to slope-intercept form. 2 steps. Super simple. If you take, let's go back to this first equation. Let's distribute this 5. Alright? So we're going to have y plus 2 equals 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times -3 is -15. If you subtract 2 from each side, then y equals 5x minus 17. And that's an equation of the same line, but in slope-intercept form.
That's crazy.
Easy, right? Okay. So this second line that you wrote in point-slope form, let's do the same thing. Let's take it from point-slope form to slope-intercept form. So we got y plus 3 is equal to 1/4 x plus 1/4 of 2. A fourth of 2. If you had $2 and you wanted a fourth of it, it'd be 50 cents or half, right? If you subtract 3 from each side, then your y is equal to 1/4 x. If you have half of $1 and you subtract $3, it's like having 50 cents in your bank account and you spend $3. You got -250, don't you? Then they're going to transfer from your savings account and they're going to charge you $5 or $15 overdraft fee, and it's a mess. So don't do that. Don't do that. If you have 50 cents in your bank account, don't spend any money at all. Okay? If you spend 50 cents and it goes to 0, it depends on your bank. Some of your banks will let you hold a 0 balance in your checking account. Some of your banks require you to hold a minimum balance. If you don't hold the minimum balance, they will transfer it from one of your other accounts and then they will fine you. They may fine you $5, $15, $25. Some banks, if you go below a certain balance in your checking account, when you go to swipe that card, they will decline it. Or if you write a check to pay for something and you don't have the money, the bank will just send the check back, and they will it's called return for insufficient funds, and then they will fine you. So don't spend money that you don't have. You can also get arrested for if you continue to write checks to pay for things and you don't have the money in your account. Just a little banking lesson there to throw into your geometry for the day. There's no charge for that. Okay? Okay, so everybody can write a line in point slope form, and then they can distribute and solve for y and put it into slope intercept form, right? Okay, very good. The second part of your assignment today, you're going to be asked this. We're going to write an equation of a line. In slope intercept form. Parallel it's got to be parallel to y equals 4x minus 5. And going through or containing negative 1, 5. So you just got done writing a line in point slope form, right? Given a point and given the slope. That was really easy, wasn't it? And then once it was in point slope form, wasn't it easy to convert it to slope intercept? Okay. Now you need one in slope intercept, but look what you're given. You're given a point, and aren't you given a slope? Because what do you know about parallel lines? How do their slopes relate? You wrote it down a couple days ago. Parallel lines have the same slope, don't they? Parallel lines have the same slope. So we have to write a new line. We got to write an equation for a new line. And let's write this new line in point slope form first. If it's parallel to y equals 4x minus 5, then its slope is going to be 4. And if it has to contain negative 1, 5, it's going to go through negative 1, 5. So there's the information for our new line. If we take that information and put it into point slope form, we get y minus 5 equals 4 times x plus 1. There's your new line in point slope form. If you distribute this 4 now, then y minus 5 equals 4x plus 4. If you add 5 to each side, then y is equal to 4x plus 9. That's the equation of a line in slope intercept form that was parallel to y equals 4x minus 5, and it went through negative 1, 5. You all right with that? The other type of problem you're going to see today and tomorrow and on your quiz is when you have to write a line or write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form perpendicular to, can you guys remember what that symbol means? Perpendicular to y equals negative 2x plus 6 containing three, 2. So our new line has a slope of, if the new line has to be perpendicular to the given line, perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. So we need the negative reciprocal of negative 2. It's going to be positive 1/2. Isn't negative 2 the same as negative 2 over 1? So negative reciprocal, opposite sign. Okay, so the opposite sign of a negative is a positive, and when we flip this fraction, it becomes 1/2. So there's your negative reciprocal of negative 2. So the slope of the new line is 1/2, and it goes through the point 3, 2. So we're going to write it in point slope form. And that's going to be y minus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 3. Going to distribute this 1/2. So y minus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 1.5. And then you're going to add 2 to each side. And y equals 1/2 x. Negative 1/2 plus 2 is positive 0.5. Any questions on any of that? Okay. Your practice for today is going to start on page 202. (22 through 24). And then over on the next page, 37 through 40.